Hi folks, welcome to your Canvas crash course. Just a reminder, it's okay to take it slow. It's okay to build and evolve your Canvas as you become more comfortable. Take each week as it comes and know that you can always make changes. Don't struggle in silence. If you have a question or need support, please ask. There's so many resources out there and I'm always here to help. So today we're going to discuss three important topics. So we're going to talk about setup, design, and implementation. First thing you need to know is, how do I get started? Well, let's take a look at the Canvas dashboard. Here is our dashboard. The dashboard has a very important toolbar on the left and on the right. On the right is a to-do list. This is what your students will also see when they go to their Canvas dashboard. Moving down, there's a coming up section which gives important due dates for assignments. All of these are hyperlinked and can take you to the immediate page for the assignment. After assignments are graded, there's a feedback section as well, and students can check out their grades. But for us, we're going to want to hit Start New Course. This allows us to create a sandbox. Creating a sandbox can be so helpful as you play with different features in Canvas, as you import things from Commons, and even as you create a collaborative CLT sandbox. Once you create that sandbox course, you can begin to play within the course. One more thing about the dashboard before I move on to starting to build your course. It's important to note that these tiles can be rearranged. Some things that are unpublished can be published with the click of a button. And if you want to take something off of your dashboard, click those three dots, click Move, and hit Unfavorite. The other thing to know about the dashboard is on the left-hand side, there's a help section for you. You can access Commons over here, and you can view the calendar. The calendar is a very helpful resource that you want to teach your students about. All things with due dates or any date attributed will appear on the calendar. And you can see here, all of my courses are here. I can unselect or I can reselect any of my courses. So if I was a student, I would be able to see everything on this page. Looking at your sandbox course, remember to select courses, all courses, and add a course. One question you're going to want to ask yourself is, how do you want to organize your course? Do you want to organize your course by week or thematically? When we think about students, what do we want them to see when they log into your course? Do you want it to be a homepage or do you want to go straight to modules? In the Commons, there are three different templates that you can choose from. One is the basic module view, which is organized by week. The second one is the week with a homepage view and buttons that are clickable. And then there's the unit view, which also has buttons that can be accessed. You can find all of these templates by clicking on Commons, then typing in D155 Fall 2020, and you'll be able to see all three. Now, there are benefits and drawbacks to each format, week by week or thematic. In the fall of 2020, as we enter into what will most likely be remote and hybrid learning, it's important to note that our students can only focus on so much content at once. Providing them with an entire unit might be fairly overwhelming. Providing them with one day of content is not enough for them to asynchronously plan their work. But the week by week tends to be the best for remote and blended learning. Weekly content seems to be that right balance that will help students to not feel overwhelmed, but also work ahead. Thematic is more traditional to what we've done in the past. It allows for clearer progression and content integration. It also links major ideas together. However you choose to organize your course, again, think simple and think what's going to be most effective for your students. Again, homepages versus modules. The homepage is very clickable and you can make things very easy to navigate. Modules looks a little bit like Google Classroom, which can be really clear in terms of setup. Teachers, remember, no matter what view you choose for your students, we always build in modules. When designing a course homepage, there is a more extensive video you can watch if you want more information, but what's really important is to remember to keep it simple. Think of a homepage like designing a website. Consider linking in units and other resources that you might have, and less is more. If you want to get really fancy, use Canva or Adobe Spark to jazz up your buttons and the look of your homepage. When you're ready, after designing your course in a sandbox, you can import that course content directly into your official course. You can also import course content from Commons or from other teachers. Now, speaking of other teachers, Canvas is recently updated and it's called Send To, which is a great way for you to send assignments, assessments, and other resources directly to people in your CLT. Collaboration is key when it comes to Canvas, and utilizing this feature can really help you to make that more efficient. All right, folks, let's talk about designing your course. The first thing you want to think about and consider is how to make the most straightforward and accessible course. And one way to do that is by changing the settings in your navigation. As you can see on the left-hand side here, there are so many different features that you can turn on that are different ways for students to access different resources in your Canvas. I highly recommend that you keep it simple. And the easiest way to do that is to narrow it down to 3 or 4 very specific aspects of Canvas. The 3 I like to go with are the homepage, announcements, and grades. By navigating from the homepage to individual modules, it becomes really easy for students to know exactly where to go, exactly how to access their assignments, and also how to check their grades. Let's take a look in action here. If I were to go to my course, I can check settings, and under settings in navigation, here's where I can drop and drag different resources. For me, I like homepage, announcements, and grades. Everything is linked directly to the homepage, which makes it easy for students to find their resources each week. So what exactly is a module? A module is a unit of study that can either be organized by time frame or by different units. So building a module in Canvas is very similar to creating a topic in Google Classroom. And remember, we as teachers always build in module view. One thing that I liked to do when I transferred over from Google Classroom to Canvas is I would open in a screen my old Google Classroom, and then I would open in a new screen my module view in Canvas. From there, I would go and build my different units and activities. Here's the difference between a unit view and a weekly view. Notice how long a unit view can get, so you want to be careful with that, especially when we are working with our students in a remote or hybrid setting. So let's take a look at what it looks like to build in modules. When I log into Canvas, I make sure I go straight to modules, and then I find my unit. I hit the plus button, and here's where I can add assignments, I can add quizzes, files, pages, discussions, you name it. The reason why I like to build all of those different features in the module view is then I can organize it by week. I can also organize it by the different types of assignments or things that I'm pushing out for my students. When it comes to actually building out an assignment, the Rich Content Editor is my toolbar and is my best friend for creating and pushing out content. Here, this toolbar is very similar to a toolbar that you would see in a Google Doc or in a Microsoft Word document. Note that you can add pictures and GIFs. You can also add and utilize their math expressions, which I hear is very similar to MathType. So for my STEM people, this is an awesome tool for you. And then you can also embed or insert directly from Google Drive. This is great, especially for Google Slides. Google Slides embeds perfectly into Canvas. Note that Google Docs actually doesn't embed that well. It gets a little cut off. And so if you play around with Google Slides, you're going to see that you're really going to enjoy utilizing that embed feature from Google. You can also embed YouTube videos. It's great to create content that's interactive for your students and you can upload and record your own videos in Canvas as well. All right, folks, let's talk about our third and final section, which is implementation. When it comes to implementation, the first thing that you're going to want to do is to set up your gradebook. You will need to do this once each semester with each of your Canvas courses, and the information in Canvas needs to match Skyward exactly. So, in terms of our gradebooks, we have 3 different categories. One is formative assessment, the other is summative assessment, and final exam. In each course, those percentages and that breakdown might be a little bit different. Some courses don't even have a final exam. So it's really important that you know to go to your assignments, remove the generic assignments category, which is created by Canvas automatically, and then add in those categories. Let's take a look and see what that looks like. Once you're in your Canvas course, you're going to want to go to assignments. In assignments, you're going to look to see what categories you have. If you have a generic assignments category, you're going to go over to these 3 dots and delete it. Here I have formative assessment and summative assessment. I don't have a final exam for my course, but I also need to make sure I set my weights correctly. So I'm going to press these 3 dots, select assignment group weights, and then I'm going to enter in my categories. Once I do that, I can press save. Here's some tips for organizing your gradebook. First, you can move your totals column from the back to the front by selecting the 3 dots on that column. You can also use several filters to sort by section, by class period, by student groups, you can even sort by modules, which is really nice if you're trying to grade all of the different assessments that you've done in a single week. And you can arrange by assignment dates, modules, like I said, and alphabetical. Playing with these filters here really can help customize the gradebook and make it really accessible and even faster to grade the work that you're doing with your students. When it comes to adding content, remember, you always want to build in modules first. You can build every assignment, quiz, file, page discussion within the module view. This helps you to organize your content and to make sure that it's in the correct order. If you need a cheat sheet for creating assignments, make sure you view the Canvas submission type breakdown, which is a 1-page document that can walk you through all the different types of assignments. When you're creating an assignment, one of the most common assignment types is an online submission type. Here you can select text entry, which is just a text box, a URL, a media recording, or a file upload, such as a file like a Google Doc from students' Google Drives. However you choose to organize your assignments or what assignment submission type you use, remember to always sync to Skyward. Don't forget, when you're ready for students to see your work, make sure everything is published. You want to publish the course, and you also want to make sure that your individual modules and assignments are published. If you don't publish the module, everything within it, even if it is published, will not be accessible to your students. When it comes to announcements, you want to utilize announcements for updates, overviews, notifications, and any important information. You can also schedule and set up a delay for your posts. So if you wanted to do something the night before, you can schedule it to appear during the morning. And you can link in daily content. It makes it really easy to share out important information to your students. There are quizzes and new quizzes. If you want to learn more, explore the new quizzes content in our Canvas support page. Remember, you can also set up discussions for your students. Discussions make it really easy for students to interact and engage, and the Speed Grader makes it easy for us to grade and assess their content. And finally, the D155 Canvas support course is a great course. We have one specifically for Cary Grove that will allow you to access important information, walkthroughs, and really answer any of your questions that you have about Canvas. We also have the Canvas support under the Help button. So make sure you start building out your content, creating different assignments, and utilizing the resources that have been created for you that will help you to navigate through Canvas. Thanks for watching this video, and make sure you check out the course setup checklist to make sure that your course is good to go for the semester.